Hi everyone, my name is Tiffany and this is Growing Up Shaman. Today's video is going to be about shadow people. Um, the story starts about 7 years ago here in Bastrop, Texas, here in this house. And one day I was walking into my kitchen, and when you're walking into my kitchen, if you look to the right, there's my bedroom. And if you look through my bedroom, you can see my bathroom as well. And that's going to be important here in a little bit. So, anyways, every time I would walk into my kitchen, I would see this shadow person. And this shadow person was like average male height. And it seemed to be a male. And it was solid black. You couldn't see through it. And, anyways, the first time I saw this, I just kind of saw it out of the corner of my eye. And when I turned to look to see what it was that I thought I saw, it was gone. And I remember thinking at first, well, maybe there's a towel hanging close to where I saw that. Maybe my mind just imagined a shadow person. So I made sure to move any towels away from that area where I saw it from, and just went about my day. Well, the next day I saw it again, and the next day again, and the next day again, again. This happened for like 2 months straight. And after the third or fourth time seeing this, I asked Spirit, okay, what are you trying to tell me, Spirit? Because I got the feeling that the shadow person that I was seeing was an omen of death. And so, but when I asked Spirit about it, it was like, no, not to worry, that this death was going to be at arm's length. And I was like, oh, okay, so this death is not going to be for me, like personally, not somebody I know personally. It's going to be for someone that I know, for them. So fast forward about 6 weeks from the first time I saw this shadow ghost, and I was at an auction and at Goodwill. It was one of my favorite things to do is go to auctions, and I had bid on this huge three-piece china cabinet. And I didn't have a truck at the time, so I had no idea how I was going to get this thing home. But this person walks up to me while the auction was going on, and he asked me. He was like, "Hey, have you been here this whole time for the auction?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Do you know how much the ducks went for?" And I go, "Oh, those went for $50." And he was like, $50? Are you sure we're talking about the same ducks? And and he was right. There were actually two sets of ducks, and the one I had priced for him was the wrong one. And he was like, "Oh no!" I was like, "Oh no, that those ducks were the person who wrote on the silent auction. They were the one who won that bid." And he was like, "Oh, okay, good. That was me." And I was like, "Oh well, guess what I just won?" And I told him about this china cabinet that I had just ordered, or not ordered, but bid on, and that I had won it. And I was like, "I have no idea how I'm going to get this thing home." And he was like, "Oh, well, I've got a trailer at the house. I can have my boys come bring it, and we can load it up for you and take it to your house." And I was like, "Are you serious? That is so awesome. Thank you so much." And so we're just talking, and I felt really strongly inclined to talk to this guy about my cousin that used to live in Austin. And why, I have no idea. I just knew I needed to come up with this conversation somehow. And the thing about this cousin that I wanted to talk about was that we used to always hang out whenever we were at our grandparents' house. And my grandma at the time lived on Canterbury Street in Austin. And so I did find a way to bring up my cousin and my grandma's house and on Canterbury. And he goes, "Canterbury? Which house on Canterbury?" And I told him, and he goes, "I used to live right next door to that house." And I go, "Oh, really? Then you must know my grandma and grandpa." And he goes, "Is Leroy your grandpa?" And I go, "Yes, that is my grandpa." And he goes, "Oh, wow, that is crazy." He goes, "I used to live in the house next door to that house until I was about 5." he goes, my dad died when I was 5 years old, and your grandpa used to come over to my house and just check on us and make sure we were okay. And I just remember him being the kindest man. And I was like, yeah, that's my grandpa. He was a really awesome guy. And I was like, did you know that he died? And he goes, no, I didn't. And so it turns out, we had this really strange connection, because we weren't even in Austin when we met. We were actually in a town called Bastrop, which is right outside of Austin. And a lot of the people who used to live in Austin now actually live out here in Bastrop because Austin has just become way too expensive. So, anyways, I thought that was pretty cool that two people from the east side of Austin found themselves in Bastrop. But, anyways, me and this guy end up becoming friends. And he starts coming over to my house like almost every day after we met. And, he was kind of sweet on me and I was kind of sweet on him. And we were starting to kind of see each other. And at one point, about a week into our meeting, um, we were both sitting on my couch here at this house, and he stops talking mid sentence, and he's like, he looks over to the side of him, and he's like, I just saw something I don't even know how to describe. He goes, I saw the bottom half of a black silhouette just standing right next to me. He goes, I know that sounds crazy, but that's what I just saw. And I go, no, it doesn't sound crazy at all. I know exactly what you're talking about. I have been seeing this thing too. I've been seeing it for 2 months straight, except I didn't see just the bottom half of it. I saw the whole full body shadow figure. And I explained to him that I was shamanic, and I was like, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but I'm afraid this means that someone close to you is going to pass away. And he goes, oh, no, no, my stepfather, he's actually doing much better, and they just moved him from ICU to the level right below ICU. And I was like, whoa, whoa, tell me about your stepdad. And he was basically telling me that he had been really, really sick, and but he was doing better, and that they had just moved him. And I was like, okay, well, I just wanted to let you know, that's, as a shamanic person, this is just what I feel, and I just wanted to let you know, not to freak you out or anything. And about a week later, this guy, he was going to be coming over to my house, and he asked me, if I needed anything from the store, and that he would meet me after work. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, you could bring blah blah blah. So come 8 o'clock, when I was expecting him to be there, he still wasn't there. And I was like on the phone, just kind of keeping an eye out on outside of my house, and just looking to see if there was a car passing by or whatnot, to see if it was him. And while I was waiting for him, I was actually on the phone, sitting at my kitchen table, and I'm FaceTiming a friend of mine. And so all of a sudden, I see on the couch somebody get up off of my couch and walk towards the window, and like they were looking out the window, which is exactly what I had been doing for the last 30, 40 minutes, waiting for my friend. Every time I'd see a car pass by, I'd peek out the blinds and see, okay, is that him? But it wasn't him. And so when I saw this bottom half of a person get up off of my couch and go and look out the window, I just knew that that person was waiting for my friend who I was waiting for. So, about an hour after my friend said he was going to be there, he actually finally shows up. And he comes in with his bags of things that he had brought, and he's in my kitchen and he's putting these things away. And he was like, I'm so sorry, I was late. It was a crazy day. And before I even let him finish, I was like, that's okay. Somebody was here waiting for you. And my friend just stops and he goes, what do you mean? I was like, I don't know. It was just somebody with I just saw somebody who was wearing khaki pants get up off of my couch and look out the window looking for you and then disappeared. And it was only their bottom half. And he just walked over to me slowly and he was like, "You're really freaking me out, Tiffany." But my stepdad, the reason why I was late was because my stepdad just died. And yeah, that's why I was late. And I was like, "Whoa, oh, I'm so sorry." And and anyways, so I don't know if you remember, but when he saw the vision, all he saw was the bottom half of that spirit of death coming to him. And when I saw um, that spirit, it was just the bottom half. But it wasn't in black this time. It was actually in color. It was khaki pants. And this guy was Mexican. And so I asked him, I was like, khaki pants aren't really something that Mexicans wear that often. That's more of an Anglo American type of thing. And I asked him, did he wear khaki pants? And he was like, yeah, he wore them all the time. I was like, well, that's unusual. But yeah, well, yeah, I think he was here, just letting you know that he's okay. And my friend was very moved by this because apparently his stepfather and him had a tumultuous relationship. And he, all through his life, even though he had raised him since he was about 6 years old, he never felt fully loved by this man. He always felt ostracized from this man, like he felt like he didn't count as much as the children that his mom and him had afterwards. And so he really wondered about the love that this man may or may not have had for him. And so the fact that he showed up after he passed away at my house, whom he knew that I would give the message to this friend of mine, that that he did love him. That there really was love there, and I think it gave him a sense of peace. And anyways, that's my story about shadow people. And oh, I just wanted to also mention that after that that experience, I never saw that shadow person again. It was like God. It's like the message was given, and that's all it wanted. And oh, and another interesting thing about where I saw this shadow person. The shadow person was always in the exact same place. And what was interesting about the place where he was standing was like, remember how I told you my bathroom was past my bedroom? So I only have two mirrors in my house. One is in the bathroom right above the sink, and the other one was in my bedroom, and it was facing perpendicular um, to the wall that the other mirror was coming from. So imagine a beam coming out of the first mirror, coming this way, and then the other mirror, imagine a beam coming out of that mirror. And where those two beams meet, that is where the actual shadow figure was each time, every single time. So I don't know what to think about that other than perhaps like the mirrors created a dimension, another dimension or something. I don't know. I just found that it was interesting that it would show up in that specific spot. Um, but anyways, I just wanted to share that story. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like videos like this and would like to hear more, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a like, and comment and share. Thanks.